everybody, it's Leah Ruppel from Straight Up Coaching, and this is another episode of Mind Movies. Today, we're going to be talking a little bit about the word engage, and not in the sense of marriage. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about how to get out of a slump. And if you're suffering from mild forms of depression, not so much the ones where you're having medication, because in some cases, it is a medical condition where you do require medication. However, there are people, clients of mine from several years gone by, that have gone off of medication by just simply employing some strategies consistently. That's the big word. That get them out of the thinking pattern of the habitual habits that they do that constantly draw them back into that state of not feeling great about themselves and not making really great choices. I want to offer just a few examples in the interest of time. If anybody out there is struggling from depression and you really want to get out of that hold, it is a state change. You can't be depressed and happy at the same time. So part of what I am going to suggest is if you want to reach out, I will gladly help give you some more strategies. If these few you've tried and they haven't worked for you, there are so many more you can do. And having consistent support is a big key to having lasting change. Email me at straightupcoaching@gmail.com and I would be happy to answer your personal questions in that regard. But getting back to the idea of how to engage to get yourself out of that slump and create more joy, more happiness, more energy in your day. First of all, engage with other people. Put yourself in an environment of people that are happy, energetic, that vibrate on a really high frequency. You can't help but feel better when you're in an environment like that. You don't necessarily have to be the life of the party, but showing up is the biggest part. So don't hide under your blankets. Don't stay home in the dark. If somebody's asked you to go out and you don't really feel like it, it might be the best thing to do is to say yes and just get yourself up and out. And don't have any great expectations for yourself, but sometimes just having that person to refer to, being in a group of people. And so when we speak about one person, there might be somebody, a friend or somebody that you really trust, that I would suggest picking up the phone and calling them and saying, hey, I'm in a slump. It's okay to admit to not feeling great. Okay, we all of us positive, happy-go-lucky people have moments and states that shift, and that's the whole idea. But knowing how to get yourself out of that, just like that, is the key. And those are the kind of strategies that I teach. So picking up a phone call, making a conversation with somebody, reaching out for help and saying, hey, I'm not feeling that great. I would love to talk to you. You know what? Not many people would turn that opportunity down. The other thing I would suggest is a little bit of personal development. Read a book. Read a good book that's going to bring you up. I'm just going to give you an example of my coffee table book. It's Motivation Manifesto by Brendon Burchard. He's a motivational speaker. He just happens to think much like I do. And even if I'm having one of those days where I feel maybe overwhelmed and I'm not creative or I'm slumped in my content, I'll just sit down and pick up the book, read it for a couple of minutes, and it's enough to jump me to a different state. People like Tony Robbins, Oprah Winfrey. I've watched 20 minutes of Ellen and laughed my butt off, and that alone will change the state. Dale Carnegie, Stephen Covey. These are motivational speakers, writers, authors that if you have some of those books in your library, you can pull any out at any time and just catch a little chapter or a couple of pages or so. And it's pretty difficult to read all those words and then still feel really yucky. And again, to get out there and to do some exercise or some walking, get some fresh air, put yourself around nature, lift your vibrational energy up by being around the things that are most natural. Feed yourself well, put some good food in you so that you can feel those effects from the food. So those are a few tips that I'd suggest to start with when you're feeling a bit of a slump and when you're in that state change. When you don't want to do something, that's sometimes the best way to get yourself out and doing something to get to a better place. So I wish you a high energy day, no slumping, don't hide out, go out and engage. It's Leah Ruppel, Straight Up Coaching. I'll see you next time.